But I wanted to ask you guys a little bit more about the politics of how this plays out. Now, you said that nationally this is going to be bad for the Republicans, both of you, if they don't. You know, I mean, Sean, you say if they're not committing to it, then it's going to turn out bad. And Ree, you're saying that it's just going to turn out bad politically for them, no matter what. But I actually want to go to this point. What do you think it's going to do for their districts back home? You know, 2014 is coming up, and those elections, right? And I really think that this whole shutdown shenanigans is really what how I would describe it as shenanigans, is trying to score political points back in their district. They're incredibly conservative, gerrymandered districts. I mean, what do you guys think?
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, you happen to mention that, and it's so great. It makes me think about we had our pumpkin festival here in my little rinky-dink town in Ohio, and it's the biggest thing of the whole year, and they had their pumpkin festival parade today, and that's when the conservatives in the area take that opportunity to spread their message, to the crowd, and we had all sorts of floats like Save the Country and Impeach Obama. There was another one that was call for a fair tax and put an end to the IRS, and there was another one that was about guns and gun rights or whatnot. So yeah, definitely when they perceive their senators as like taking a stand against the evil Nazi communist Muslim Obama, they get fired. Yeah, socialist commie Obama. Then they get fired up, and sure. They start rallying to his side.
Most people don't pay attention to politics, right? Like, we're in the minority of people who actually like follow it daily or weekly or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like what a shutdown does is it basically infects the news, right? Like, you can't get away from it if you're in the general public, right? Mm-hmm. So where the Republicans risk losing is, look, most people vote based on whatever. They'll be like, my father's a Republican, I'm a Republican, so they vote for the R on the candidate thing. But if everybody is saying that the Republicans fucked up, which is what will happen if they shut down the government for like 4 days or like 20 days, then their seats in the House are at risk. So even though they have gerrymandered districts and they're super conservative districts, they're districts where some people are super conservative and most people just don't care. Like, because most people in both parties and most independents don't really care at all about,
right,
like...
You make a good point, because voter turnout for midterms is usually really low. It's always the hardcore people that do give a crap, that are ultra-conservative, that come out to vote. It's the majority that does not come out to vote within these midterms. So, I mean, that's why we get ultra-conservative people in these districts.
But it's
not
also
only from the gerrymandering, but the people who, the diehards who actually go out and vote every time.
But it's
Those
also
are the ones you see at Ted Cruz rallies and whatnot.
I mean, the senators are a little different, but and the Senate is actually more at risk than the House because there's no gerrymandering in the Senate. But in general, like, you have to, if you're going to shut down the government, you have to get something, right? You have to get a big win if you shut down the government, which is why I say they would have to shut it down for a very long time.
And nonetheless, they're still not going to get the win on Obamacare. That's the very thing that that they say that they're trying to shut down, because President Obama, he's not going to get rid of Obamacare.
Well, that's definitely not going to happen. I could see him delaying the individual mandate a year. He already did delay the employer mandate, so that is possible. But
that
to me,
that's
not a big enough win. Like, you would need something significant, or more likely, because we operate in the fantasy world of politics, you need something that seems more significant than it actually is, because we work on historic achievements that aren't really historic or achievements. So you just need something. You need a big win.
Right, and I don't know. I don't really see what they could get from it except for, like I said before, the grand bargain. Now, I think that they would really love to make a grand bargain. I know President Obama wants to make this grand bargain, and this would be kind of the perfect time to go, you know what? Let's go and make this bargain that cuts corporate taxes and does entitlement reform, just like you guys want. and then Boehner's going to be like, oh, I don't know about this, and then he'll rally a couple, enough conservative votes and go along with the Democrats, and then we'll get this grand bargain, and then John Boehner will come back later, just like after the fiscal cliff negotiations, and say, yeah, I got 98% of what I wanted. Well,
Right.
the American people get screwed.
And what's more likely is going to happen is that if there is a shutdown, then I expect probably 60 or so Tea Party representatives to hold firm in the House, and the Democrats and Republicans will come together and they will pass the continuing resolution in the House.
Yeah, the establishment
And
will come together.
Yeah, and in the Senate, I expect like 4 or 5 senators. I'm not even sure about that because Ted Cruz is a fraud after that phony filibuster. To me, like I expect like a few senators to like not only not vote for it. A lot of senators are not going to vote for it, but I expect a few senators to try and filibuster. But other than that, like it's going to get passed, and to me, nothing significant is going to happen. I'd be surprised. And any of the small reforms that I said I was in favor for are not like gigantic victories.